Let's turn to Afghanistan as fighting continues to rage across the country. The Taliban have been launching offensives on multiple fronts. These pictures are of the aftermath of the attack on the defense minister's home in Kabul. Neither he nor his family were there. But there were extraordinary scenes in Kabul, as you can see here, as the gun battles were taking place, with hundreds of people coming onto the streets, chanting their support for government forces and denouncing the militants. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now by Daniel Davis, a retired U.S. colonel and a senior fellow at the national security think tank Defense Priorities. Good to have you on the program with us, Mr.
Thanks
Davis.
for having me.
Can I just start by asking how long before the Taliban are in majority control of the country?
Well, I guess I would differ from a lot of people. I think that's very much still up for debate as to whether that's going to happen. I don't think it's inevitable at all, because some of the things you're seeing in the report you just mentioned there, that the people of Afghanistan, now that they know that they don't have the United States over their shoulder to back them up, are going to have to stand up on their own. And they know now that their life is on the line if they don't make the changes that are necessary, either in the diplomatic arena or even in the security arena. And I think that you're going to see the Afghan people pulled together like they haven't so far, because now they have to. And so the Taliban doesn't have a free line to anything. And they're also going to, I think, start suffering more casualties, especially if they start moving into the city warfare. And it's not going to work out the way they think.
But the Taliban is gaining ground pretty rapidly. Was it a mistake for the U.S. to pull troops out in such an uncoordinated fashion?
It was definitely not a mistake for the United States to withdraw, but I think there is some room to question how it was done. I actually was arguing as far back as 2016, 2017, that we should announce the withdrawal and then give the Afghan people about 24 months of continued support at the same level, so that we can conduct a coordinated, professionally accomplished and withdrawal that everybody has a chance to do in time. Unfortunately, that's not the way we did it. We had a second chance when Trump announced his decision or his deal with the Taliban in February 2020. There was a 14-month window there, which would still have given us time. But unfortunately, we didn't take advantage of that. Trump got distracted by other things. The Pentagon didn't want to leave, so they took no action. And then when President Biden came in, he just said, all right, that's it, we're going to leave. And now then within 3 months, you've got 95% out, and we have a lot more chaos than we should have had. But leaving is the right answer.
All of this happening against the backdrop of China extending a hand to the Taliban, saying it believes that it has an important role to play in the country's rebuilding. Beijing gaining ground in a region where the U.S. is losing influence again.
Well, I think you got to look at this in the context of the whole of time, and not just in this particular moment, because China's not talking about going in militarily to fill any military void or security void. They're just actually trying to play both sides. They're reaching out to the Taliban, and they're also reaching out to the Afghan government side. They're trying to play both sides to try to gain something that they can, because there is some financial opportunity for them in there with several rare earth materials and some other things. And it's on their border, and they don't want any of the violence to spill over into their side. So they have a motivation to do that. But look, before we came in 2001, China was already there. There's no void to fill there. We just actually helped them out, as I wrote about not long ago. We've helped them out by keeping some of the security down. Now they're going to be responsible for their own security. And I think that's actually appropriate.
And just briefly, what's the Taliban's end goal in all of this? A negotiating position with the Afghan government or ultimate control?
Yeah, I don't believe that their objective is to completely take over the whole country again, because they saw that didn't really work out well the first time. They actually, from 1996, when they started as an organization, were never able to completely conquer the territory. I think what you'll see them want to do is to rule and govern in the areas where they're the majority, in the Pashtun areas. And I think that they'll be willing to make some negotiated deals. But like happened in the Korean War and the Vietnam War and several other places in the past, they are fighting as hard as they can right now to give themselves the best negotiating position. But I think ultimately they actually also want to negotiate a settlement so they can quit fighting and actually just govern the areas where they're in the majority.
Daniel Davis, thank you for joining us on Newsday. Meanwhile,